What's up everyone, Dwayne Randell here, back with another video on the MITRE attack framework. Today we're exploring the technique Gather Victim Identity Information. This technique involves threat actors collecting personal details about individuals within a target organization. This can be employee names and email addresses, or sensitive data such as login credentials and multi-factor authentication configurations. That data is really invaluable for tailoring attacks, facilitating unauthorized access, and enhancing those social engineering tactics. Now, there's three primary targets for this technique. Credentials. So this is where people are gathering account credentials used in the target organization, or exploiting that common practice of reusing our passwords across those personal and professional accounts. For instance, they can attain these credentials through phishing campaigns or purchasing data from previous breaches on the dark web. The second is email addresses. Collecting email addresses can be achieved through scraping websites, looking at social media platforms, or even querying public databases. Threat actors can also use things like probing authentication services to enumerate valid email addresses. Office 365 environments, for example, you can even query specific API endpoints to reveal valid usernames. The third is employee names. Gathering employee names can actually involve that searching social media profile, professional networking sites such as LinkedIn, or even using the organization's own website, because knowing employee names actually aids in crafting convincing phishing emails, guessing email address formats, or using those social engineering tactics. So who's at risk? Well, all the sectors are vulnerable to this, but particularly those that have a significant online presence, or people that are sharing details of employees quite widely, such as on the website. Companies that have experienced previous data breaches are also particularly at risk here. Now, this is used pretty widely, but notably, there's few threat actors that have used this quite successfully, such as the Lapsus group. For example, on the 21st of January 2022, Lapsus used a third-party customer support engineer's identity to break into the servers of Okta, which is actually an identity and access management company. Now, detecting and mitigating this technique can be quite challenging again, as much of this data collection happens outside of the perimeter of the organization. But there are a few things you can do. So for detection, it'd be monitoring network traffic. So keeping an eye out for unusual network activities, such as large volumes of authentication requests, particularly from single sources or sources outside the normal places you would see it. That can indicate probing for user information. Analyzing the web metadata, including sort of the user agent strings in your HTTP and HTTPS fields, can also reveal sort of malicious activity there. As for mitigating, it's all about limiting what data is available, so the public exposure, minimizing what's on the website and on social media platforms unless it's really organizationally relevant. Employee training, so educating the staff about oversharing information out there. And implementing strong authentication, so enforcing those robust mechanisms such as MFA to reduce the risk of unauthorized access, even if those credentials are compromised. I hope this gives you a good summary of the Gather Victim Identity Information technique. Until next time, stay safe.